Trees. Palm Trees right there, almost losing their dualies real early right there. The bomb span coming out.
Yeah, so both teams here fighting for a little bit of contention, but we do have Palm Trees getting the early cap on both of the zones, but here come the specials from Tsunami. They're going to push forward and cap both of these zones, get a couple of picks there, and this should be the cap.
Yes, and this is going to be the really big opener right there that Tsunami usually gets and is used to getting. You know, it's not often that we see Tsunami play the patient game right there, but that's exactly what they did. They get another pick right there to stop them from getting armor on their pushback in. Sorry, that was a slosh or not. They do have an armor on the pushback in. They're going to see some feeding right there, and Synapse right there is going to die before the Ray comes out. The Ray is not going to be able to do anything right there.
Palm Trees is going to have a little bit of special coordination there. They didn't quite have everything all come in at once, but they kind of had a couple things stacked. Both of the zones are still contested though, and Palm Trees are looking to try to cap this, but they need to get more paint control on both of these zones.
Absolutely. You know, Tsunami got that early control and they just ran with it. It took a very long time for them to be able to push back in. Some crucial picks on the side of Tsunami right there. They do get the zones back, but they have an uphill battle now for them. You know, you saw the ballpoint going down on Tsunami. That's what allowed them to really take back these zones. A Charger versus ballpoint 1v1 is always going to be a little bit lopsided.
Seeing a lot of bomb pressure come out from this junior. You know, with that 1.1 increased ink tank, they're able to put out plenty of bombs on zone and push the members of Palm Trees back. But Palm Trees is going to take more of a control of their zones there, get a couple of picks, and hopefully try to go for the lead here.
Absolutely. You know, the backline dying so delayed right back there. He really should have just jumped out on the side of Tsunami. That's going to stagger the respawns. Now it's going to take much longer for Tsunami to be able to get the specials together to push right back in, because he's going to respawn so much later than his teammates. So his teammates are going to have to wait for him effectively.
Couple specials online and being popped on the side of Tsunami. That's actually a wipe now for Palm Trees, and so Tsunami is going to cap both these zones, instill that penalty, and go for the lead here at about halftime of this first game.
Absolutely. And you know, Tsunami, and you think that they're just down and out. You know, they had the odds stacked against them right there, but they just come in right there. Pro gets a double, and they get a full wipe out of nowhere. That's just Tsunami for you. They make things out of games when you just don't believe that they have any chance to. They have both sides of the map right now really effectively locked out. The Ray is going to come out, though, and it's going to make things real difficult. Ooh, the Ray's going to be taken out right here. Their push is going to be taken out right here. That is almost a full wipe right there. 3 down on the side of Palm Trees. So Tsunami has the upper hand here. They're going to take the lead.
Yeah, the lead they do take there. And they're looking to kind of go for the knockout here. They're in very good positioning in order to let that happen, not letting any of the members of Palm Trees really move around, and Luca's going to try to push up that sniper. Shiny is going to go down, and it looks like Tsunami here has the game. Oh. Yes, they do. Baller not quite coming in soon enough, and so Tsunami takes game 1.
Absolutely, and that was dominant fashion. Once they got that lockout, Tsunami was just unbelievably strong. As long as Otter didn't go down, and as long as their backline didn't go down, they had control of the entire game. Ghost right there with going had a 0 KA match. Really, really rough time there. The Ballers were still instrumental in taking back zone, but they were just being outslayed. Tsunami really just had to have their backline play a little bit more patiently, and that seemed to be their key to winning right there.
Yeah, definitely. I will say the other thing that we saw coming out from Tsunami that I really don't think that you see very often is a lot of, as I mentioned in that game, a lot of bomb pressure coming out on zone from that junior. It's kind of a minor point, but I think it's something to kind of take note of, because you don't really see that a lot in general, or at least I, for one, haven't. But, you know, those bombs able to paint a decent bit of zone there and push the members, you know, control the members of your opponents there a little easier. And of course, that bomb span is much easier to do with an increased ink tank that the junior has.
Yes, absolutely.
So hopping into this next game, we're going to be seeing Splat Zones, of course, on Anchovy Games. So what do you think about this map?
Well, you know, If they run Array again on Palm Trees, they're going to have a rough time because that junior was just constantly in the backliner's face. Palm Trees were not doing a great job of making sure that their backline was guarded, and the junior coming around with those miniature bomb rushes. You know, they can chuck 2 bombs, pop armor, and chuck 2 more. That's 4 bombs. Effectively, it's a little bomb rush. How do you defend against that if you're a backliner where you need to charge up shots?
Yeah, especially with restricted movement of, to say, the Stingray, you know, you're kind of rendered pretty useless unless you want to go into squid form and run away from those bombs. So, you know, obviously doesn't really have much of a panic button special or a special that you can really, you know, use to get out of a sticky situation like that. So teams here readying up, and we'll see what they both bring to the table.
Yeah, you know, though I'm not sure that we're going to see another Ray out of Palm Trees this time around. You know, last time the map called for it. It's a very narrow map. It's hard to avoid a Ray, a good Ray on that map. And they knew that, and they brought the Ray, but I don't think that they're going to be bringing a Ray on this map, if I'm going to be perfectly honest.
Yeah, let's see if you're right here. Getting into game 2 now. Tsunami, of course, up 1-0 in the set over Palm Trees. Looks like a lot of the same composition coming out from Tsunami, and a pretty similar one coming out from Palm Trees here.
Yeah, I was absolutely wrong here. They do bring the Ray. They also have an armor, so what they're going to be doing with that is they're going to be armoring their Rays, but they don't really need to... they can focus those armors on other things because there is no Ray on the side of Tsunami. So as long as Tsunami can survive those Rays, they win this match.
Yeah, and as we see there, Palm Trees playing the patient game again. That's going to be 3 down on the side of Tsunami, and this will allow Palm Trees to kind of push up, try to get a little more map control, try to get some area around the zone, including the zone, and then push up to try to lock out the members of Tsunami here as much as possible to try to get out to an early lead.
Absolutely. See Otter over here with the Inkjet putting together a varying angle of pressure right there. He's almost going to pick out that sniper right there and take out the backline, but he doesn't. Otter avoids the shot, though. That is going to force the backline backwards, and that's going to open things up for his team to push into zone and take it. The counter now all the way down past 80, so they're starting to make something out.
Yeah, indeed. There, Otter providing a little bit of a distraction there for Shiny on Sniper for Palm Trees, but Tsunami will go ahead, take back the zone, take the lead here as a matter of fact, but that baller is going to come in 2 down for Tsunami, and Palm Trees is looking to cap this right.
Yeah, and they do just that. The bomb nearly taking out Ghost right there, but Ghost is able to pick things right back up and, you know, just cap zone right there. If that bomb had killed him, then it looks like Tsunami may have been able to continue to make something out of those bombs from the undercover right there. Those torpedoes right there are going to be disruptive enough to make things difficult, but Tsunami is just going to eat them right up. They're going to push right into zone. They have Rain and Inkjet out. They're going to cap it right there, and this is their push right back in.
But actually, Palm Trees there taking the zone right back. So I think the members of Tsunami here looking to get a couple of picks before they fully focus on the zone. The zone trading hands back and forth there quite frequently. Booyah Bomb going to come out for Tsunami, but here comes the Ray on behalf of Palm Trees. Does get 1 and 2.
Oh, you know, just I said it earlier, and I'm gonna say it again. If you can survive those Rays, that's going to be your way of beating Palm Trees right here. Tsunami just went 2 down to that Ray, and that's going to open things up and give Palm Trees the lead right here, because this is going to stagger the respawn, and they can't push back in together as early as they would otherwise like to.
Tsunami here does have a couple of specials online. They're going to pop everything and throw it on zone. Goes here, going to try to stay back. Caps the zone again to keep this momentum going here for Palm Trees. They're really looking for the knockout, but that Booyah Bomb is going to go ahead and cap zone for Tsunami, so they will enforce that penalty, and Tsunami does get a second chance.
Absolutely. Oh, and a really mistimed engage right there on Wolfie, trying to take out the backline so that their backline could push up and really allow their front line to push back in. That's another that's going to go down, trying to take out the backline on Tsunami. So it looks like right now they're really kind of focusing on Wolfie right now, and Otter is just pushing up and forcing their entire team back. The Ray's going to come out, but it's going to be unsupported by other specials.
Otter here going to try to sneak up with this Inkjet. doesn't look like they can quite get a pick here. But Tsunami still in a great position to keep the members of Palm Trees at bay and away from this zone.
Absolutely. It looks like they are going to take back lead right there. Lucas, the junior, is in their spawn and is about to put pressure on the backline. The backline can't do anything. This is actually looking really bad. And it looks like Tsunami is going to go ahead and get the KO on the match. So just when you thought that Palm Trees was really going to make something out of this match and was you know, they were turning things around, Tsunami just says,
yeah, I think I really took one solid, 3-down situation there. In order for Tsunami to really push forward, you know, they had 3 members there pushing forward to hold back the members of, Palm Trees, keep them away from the zone, applying that pressure such that Tsunami isn't quite going to be able to, Palm Trees, isn't quite going to be able to get back into the zone. So Tsunami is going to go ahead and take the first set 1-0, and now we're going to go ahead and await the mode counter pick from Palm Trees.
Absolutely. You know, Palm Trees, if you're sitting here right now, you think, all right, well, Tsunami, you know, they bested us in splat zones. Let's take a look back and see where we have beaten them in the past. See what we can do statistically that will be in our favor so we can take this back and, you know, put on the reverse sweep, win the next 4 games and go to grand finals. Tsunami is going to be a really tough opponent for them to beat. As you can see from these first 2 matches, just when you think that they're down and out, they swing back in with an instant KO.
Yeah, indeed. Tsunami really showing why they're one of the stronger teams in this tournament. You know, we keep talking about that. And it really only took them 1 push to really lock everything down and lock the game. But, you know, before that 1 push, both these teams were going very back and forth. So it'll be interesting here to see what Palm Trees thinks is their strongest mode of the remaining 3. It looks like I've just gotten word that they're going to go ahead and pick Rainmaker. So the maps we'll be seeing for Rainmaker are Inkblot, Camp Triggerfish, and Sturgeon Ship.
You know, and picking Rainmaker, it's actually, whether you've beaten them statistically in Rainmaker in the past or not, that's actually a pretty risky move. Considering Rainmaker, you see the most fluke wins in Rainmaker. You see far more fluke wins in Rainmaker than you see in any other mode. You see far more upsets in Rainmaker than you see in any other mode. You know, Rainmaker, all you need is that 1 fluke push, that 1 fluke KO, and hey, you just took a match. You know, even against the best teams. Like you said, Tsunami is definitely one of the best teams in this tournament. I think that their overall aggression is going to play to their favor in Rainmaker, though, because it is just such a fast-paced mode for a push. They really brute forced their way into this top 8. What they really did best was they came in, they won, and they didn't have to play anymore because they were already here.
Yeah, that's true. So here we are now. We've got the teams setting their compositions. What do you expect to see as far as compositions are concerned from these 2 teams? Are we going to see a lot of changes, you think?
Well, Palm Trees is going to have to change something up. Ghost, I believe, is going to stick to those dualies because it was definitely an improvement for them. Definitely an improvement for them over the Slosher. They, you know, that first match where they had the 0 KA match with that Slosher, it seems that Tsunami is able to really get around that, and Ghost is having a very hard set right here. If Ghost can really turn things around, I believe Palm Trees themselves can turn things around. Shiny will be under a lot less pressure in the back line right over there. And as long as Shiny is not under pressure, you know, maybe they can make something happen. Maybe they can play a little bit more patiently. Wait for Otter to make a mistake and punish it, you know. And when fighting against Tsunami, what you really have to do is you punish Otter, you take out Otter, they lose most of their aggression, and you just win the Ray battles because their defense against that is the Ray, or their defense against that is whatever special their backline is bringing, whatever position their backline is bringing. So you have to take them apart, part by part, if you're really going to beat Tsunami. They're a really well-built team.
Yeah, indeed. So looks like we're going to be hopping right into this really soon. For this second set, Tsunami up 1-0 in sets. So Palm Trees needs to win both of these next two sets, including Tsunami's counterpicked mode, if they want to punch their ticket into grand finals here. But moving forward, it really doesn't look like we're seeing a whole lot of stuff change up on either side, except I do notice a heavy, I'm not quite sure if that was there before, on the side of Tsunami.
Well, you know, Tsunami just knew, all right, it's Rainmaker. A Stingray is going to be able to effectively stop a push instantly by itself. Pop a Stingray, kill the Rainmaker, and their push is dead. It allows your team to get right back into the match. That's what they didn't have in the last matches.
2 down for Tsunami is going to allow Palm Trees to push up. Nani is going to go ahead and try to make a run for it. That Stingray is also going to come in. They're going to get it all the way to 28 there for a really early push. But Tsunami is still 3 down, and they need to watch out there as they're still on their...
Absolutely. The backline almost died right there. That would have been absolutely massive. Palm Trees is making something out of it. You know, they're a really fast team right here on this map. Oh, and he doesn't go down to the snipe. They are... they push it all the way up to 12. Nanan with another pick, pops the armor. They can make something happen. This might be a KO right here. Push it all the way to 10, just a couple more points. The pressure is still on right here. The Ray comes out, and they're able to... Tsunami is able to get the Rainmaker out the left side of the map right there.
Yeah, but I think... very good coordination there from Palm Trees. They realized when they could back up a little bit, and then they also realized when they can have one of their members try to sneak forward to pick up that Rainmaker. In a lot of those cases, that extended their lead even further all the way to 10 here. We're going to see what Tsunami has to do. They are 2 down at the moment, so they have to be very conservative here as the members of Palm Trees do try to sneak up. Synapse is going to get that pick on the Rainmaker. Tsunami still 2 down, still having difficulty really gaining their footing in this match.
Absolutely. Tsunami just seems to be outclassed in this mode so far, in this map so far. You know, it looks like a complete turnaround from the earlier matches in this set. Tsunami really just is struggling. They're being overwhelmed right now. Otter's not having such a great match so far. The Junior is putting down so much paint that it's allowing Palm Trees to be as aggressive as they like, and the bomb spam is really coming out and forcing the opponents fighting against the aggression from their front line to really duck out of the way and get out of position. That's making openings. And they have the plat. Once again, they're making another push out of this.
Yeah, Tsunami there did have a couple of specials online. Here comes that Stingray out from Shiny. Is going to get the pick on the Rainmaker. It is a 2-down situation for Palm Trees, though, so this might open a little bit of a door for Tsunami. They are going to get that pick there off to the right. That might open things up, but it doesn't quite look like the Rainmaker is fully supported, and it looks like the Rainmaker is going to go down here pretty soon. They will stand up there on the box here, try to get a couple of picks before moving forward.
Absolutely. You know, they do go 2 down. You know, what really was the key there for Palm Trees to win that engagement right there was their backline was not under pressure. Their backline just rained havoc and denied so many different areas that Tsunami normally is really good at taking and abusing.
Yeah, so here we are now. Palm Trees has a Rainmaker on their side of the map, but they're not really in any rush to pick this up. They're going to let it reset to the middle of the map. We have a couple of specials online for both teams here, but Palm Trees is going to, maintain control of the middle of the map and really not let Tsunami push forward because they know they have a pretty comfortable lead.
Oh, you do not take those engagements in a 2v1 situation. He pushed up and bit a little bit more than he can chew. Wolfie's going to have a push out of this. Tsunami can push things right back, but the Ray is going to come out from Palm Trees and stop their push right in its tracks. Their team is going to be able to push right back in and pop the Rainmaker and stop that push from ever happening again. You know, that push is dead. That push is not coming back.
Yeah, thank goodness that Palm Trees did have that Stingray at their ready, because if they didn't, that was looking like a very bad situation there, as they had a couple of their members maybe push a little bit too far forward, and that allowed for some of the members of Tsunami to, pick up the Rainmaker and get something going, but that Stingray did come out to stop that push. Palm Trees now going to pick up the Rainmaker. I imagine they're probably going to stall this out for as long as they can here. Stingray is going to come out, likely going to get the pick on the Rainmaker. They will indeed. So that 2-down situation now for Palm Trees, and Tsunami has to get some paint control and has to get a couple things happening here real quick if they want to come back in this game.
Absolutely. You know, playing it a little safe there and not being super aggressive there once you had the Rainmaker up on plat, that was a mistake because what you effectively did was you just gave them Rainmaker on plat. They have a Stingray, however. Palm Trees does have a Stingray to stop this push. You know, what is going to be their key right here is to not pop that Stingray early, but their teammate, their one teammate alive, is going to get that kill, and they're going to stop any push from happening in the first place. Palm Trees coming back and showing, hey, we beat Tsunami in the past for a reason. We're here to win.
Yeah, that counterpicked mode did play in their favor that time around. Snaps going for an 18 splats and assists. Overall, the junior also going for 15 splats and assists. So interesting stuff all around from both teams. But Palm Trees was really able very early to keep that aggression up and really, you know, conservatively pick and choose when they were going to try to go for a couple more points and then just kind of maintain their lead for the rest of the game.
Absolutely. You know, Rainmaker really is that one big push mode. Synapse really just popped off in that match. He was so aggressive. He created the openings for his team to really be able to do things. Those armors coming out, the junior getting an awful lot of assists with those and putting on pressure with those bombs. Those armors were perfectly timed. Synapse just won those 1v1s every single time that he needed to.
So coming up next, we are going to go back to Camp Triggerfish in this set for Rainmaker. Tsunami needs both of these games if they want to just go ahead and close out the match. Whereas if Palm Trees here wins this next game, they will then go ahead and tie the match overall. Looks like we're going to see much the same compositions coming out from both of these teams.
Absolutely. Another double dualies comp coming out from Palm Trees. They're going to be aggressive on the pop. You know, they back off thinking, oh, we lost the pop. Then it stops popping, and they're going to go one down at the beginning. So Tsunami's going to take it right left. They have left painted out for them, so this is going to be their early push. Only thing that can stop this right now is a random flank, a random fluke, or a ray. You see that mist right there? It's going to stop the Rainmaker in its tracks. It's extremely hard for the Rainmaker to swim through mist.
Yeah, indeed, this Rainmaker going to keep pushing forward. Shiny going to hop back and pop this Stingray to prevent this push from going any further, but not before it gets to 20. So Tsunami has a pretty impressive first push.
Absolutely. Tsunami saying, hey, we got that one big push early now. Now it's your turn to play defense. And NASA, again, coming with a trade. The pro taking out the Inkjet. So that's still 2 down on the side of Palm Trees. But Tsunami isn't pushed up far enough to really make something out of it. The junior is in their spawn trying to make something happen. He does die because of it, though, in a 2v1 situation.
Yeah, Palm Trees doing a very good job overall. Just hanging on here, letting that Rainmaker reset, not letting Tsunami really push any far forward. You know, like I said, opting to let that Rainmaker reset, and that'll kind of allow them to kind of reset what all is going.
Yeah, absolutely. That Inkjet so close to being killed right now. The undercover just needs to focus paint right now, needs to give his team armors. His team really needs something that they can use to be aggressive right here and really change the tide of pressure in this match. You know, the Charger can push up on this over-positioned heavy right here if they can, but he's going to go ahead and try to use a Ray instead, and he's going to go down because of poor positioning to a Booyah Bomb.
2-down situation for Palm Trees there, but Tsunami has a couple of members down on their own. This will actually allow Palm Trees a little bit of an opening here. They're going to take it, try to rush it right down the middle, but that Rainmaker doesn't have a lot of paint support going forward, and it will get stopped at 59 by the members of by Tsunami, rather.
Oh, and they do get another pick out of it. The push is not dead. Palm Trees is making something out of this right here. Oh, Shiny is going to go down. That is absolutely huge. But 2 down on the side of Tsunami, taking it left. There's nobody there to defend.
They might try to go for the lead here. Unfortunately, didn't have a paint right in front of them in order to push forward. So that's going to be the end of that push there. And Nanine going to go for the hero plays to try to get the lead, but unfortunately not quite going to be enough for them in that situation. So we'll see here what Tsunami opts to do now. I imagine they might try to push a little far forward, but we'll have to see what happens with the last 2 minutes of this game.
Well, the armor is coming out on the side of Tsunami right now. Synapse is going to be spotted right there and called out. So the sharking is unsuccessful. He does get the pick on the Rainmaker regardless. Maybe I was wrong. Maybe they missed him. That's going to be a huge mistake on the side of Palm Trees right there. And a huge mistake on the side of Tsunami altogether as well. Gotta be a little bit more aware than that. So NASA gonna come out and just absolutely pressure this Inkjet out, but not before he goes ahead and gets a pick. That's gonna create an opening, taking out that armor that Tsunami uses to be aggressive on.
Yeah, so Tsunami here looking to pick up the Rainmaker and push forward, go for that lead. That Stingray going to try to get a couple of the members of Tsunami, but unfortunately it doesn't quite look like it's going to be enough. I don't think they know Otter's here. Otter is going to pop out, is going to pick off the Rainmaker and pick off Shiny in the process. So that's going to be a double kill there, and that will likely be the end of the push here. Otter, that's actually going to be a wipe meanwhile, and the rest of the map, a couple of other 1v1s were taking place, but Tsunami is going to go ahead, pick up this Rainmaker, maybe try to push it a little forward, but they're definitely going to be conservative in doing so.
Yeah, you know, the early Ray right there just really allowed them to walk up to the Rainmaker. It just didn't, it wasn't going to work out. Tsunami had the upper hand in that situation because the Ray just wasn't supported.
Rainmaker here going to be stopped there by Palm Trees, but it really doesn't look like Palm Trees has a lot of turf control in the area of the Rainmaker. Shiny going to try to come in and get a couple of snipes, but I'm not quite sure if that's going to be the wisest decision yet. It's going to jump back there, does have the Ray ready in case Tsunami decides to try to push a little more forward, but they are going to let this Rainmaker reset.
Yeah, Palm Trees did, you know, their backliner did try to come in there with the trick shot. If they'd hit it, that would have been a nice opening for them to take. They have 12 seconds left for them to make something happen. The Ray comes out early. Nobody on their team has the Rainmaker yet. They pick up the Rainmaker, but they don't have anything in defense to force the front line back. Ooh, they do get a pick on the Junior. Synapse pushing ahead, but not before the Rainmaker goes down. So Tsunami taking this set to 1-1 by winning that by the skin of their teeth.
Yeah, indeed. You know, an early push there allowed Tsunami to maybe play a little more conservatively. You know, they knew that they didn't have to go for anything major. And there was almost one push to counter that from Palm Trees there about midway through that game. But unfortunately, it wasn't quite enough. They didn't quite have the support they needed on that push. So Tsunami will go ahead and tie the set 1-1 as we go ahead to Sturgeon Shipyard for our final game in this set.
Absolutely. Though, you know, Palm Trees definitely showing that they are strong, that they are a force to be reckoned with. What they just did in this set is they took the first game off of Tsunami in this tournament. And they almost did it twice. Tsunami really, you know, they won that one by the skin of their teeth. They almost lost lead on that angle change right there by the Rainmaker, noticing an opening. Unfortunately, not just jumping ahead, waiting to try to paint out ahead of them first. That could have lost them the match right there. That could have been enough because maybe they could have jumped over the enemy ink just long enough to make something happen.
So, like we mentioned here, this is going to be game 3 of this set between of the second set between Tsunami and Palm Trees. Tsunami currently has the 1-0 set lead in the match overall. So Palm Trees here looking to get on the board in that score, looking to force a third set between these two teams. But Tsunami can just go ahead and close it out right here if they can win this game.
Yeah, this is really a win-it-all situation right here for Palm Trees. You know, if they win this, then they tie the set and they take things further. But if they lose, it's all over. And Tsunami knows this, and I'm pretty sure Tsunami's feeling a little bit calmer on. You know, even if the set does get tied, it's still one more in this entire matchup to go through.
Yeah, so we're going to go ahead and hop right into this match now. This third game in the second set between these two teams. Opting for overall pretty similar comps, I'd say, on the whole.
Absolutely. You know, you see Wolfie still sticking with backline. There's some special saver, which actually signals to me that their backline is going to be a little bit more aggressive on this play. Synapse with an early flank. Ooh, firing shots a little too early. That's a bad situation to be in. They do get a pick out of... They get a double out of it, actually, and that is going to be huge. That might be able to create an opening if their backline can push up and get a pick and force the Tsunami's backline to back up. Unfortunately for them, that does not happen. They are on spinner, and both teams are able to get right back in this.
Yeah, unfortunately there, Palm Trees wasn't quite in the proper position to take full advantage of that, but now Tsunami is going to go 3 down. That'll allow the members of Palm Trees to push forward here, and it really doesn't look like any of the members of Tsunami are near the Rainmaker to try to defend this push. It's going to go all the way to 25 there, so excellent starting push as we keep seeing, but Palm Trees is going to go down to a wipe, and that will be the end of it.
But they did get the kill that mattered. They got the kill that mattered out of that exchange. They took out the backline on Tsunami, so they don't have a Ray. So Tsunami, their backliner, is the person that is going to pick up that Rainmaker because of the way that their respawn sequence. NASA's going to push up a little bit on the top left. They're going to get a pick, and that's going to... Ooh, they're going to fall off the map.
Unfortunate there for NASA, but Tsunami still has this push going. There's 2 specials now online. That Stingray is going to come out from Shiny and try to look for a pick, but this Rainmaker doing a pretty good job avoiding it overall. Is going to finally get cleaned up there, but all the other members of Tsunami are still alive and are looking to try to extend this push.
Oh, and a nice assist right there. Almost getting a pick on the bomb right there on Otter. They're pushing into the spawn. This pressure on the backline is going to keep... It's going to open things up for Tsunami right here if they want to make something out of this push.
Yeah, so Tsunami trying their best to stay alive in this situation. Palm Tree is doing overall a good job of keeping in control of that area, not letting the members of Tsunami push forward. But here they go. They're going to pop the Rainmaker after it resets to mid. But this Inkarmer is going to come out from Palm Trees to try to prevent them from pushing.
Unfortunately, though, they do have 2 people under bridge, which means that they are not in a position to really take advantage of that Inkarmer. The Inkjet is going to come out late. They didn't time those 2 together, so that both are going to be a little bit staggered, and they're just going to be able to, you know, Palm Trees is going to be able to just back up and say, all right, you know, we'll just back up and wait for the Inkjet to finish. We'll wait for the Inkarmer to finish. They're under the bridge.
Palm Trees playing the conservative game, not trying to go down, also not trying to overextend themselves. As the members of Tsunami get back in, they're looking to, they have all the stuff in place to make a push here. They are going to go ahead and pick up the Rainmaker, but that Junior is going to go ahead and go down. Shiny's going to come out with a Ray, and the counter Ray also going to come out. Doesn't seem like either of them can fully find the pick, but here comes Otter out of almost nowhere, goes ahead and takes out that Ray.
Absolutely. Otter can make something happen right here. Oh, never mind. Otter does go down. That's going to be the end of that push then. Synapse, very, very aware right there. Nice response to a call out. Otter goes down, and that's going to really mess up the respawns on the side of Tsunami. Ghost right there with another nice pick there. Another 1v1 here in mid, and it looks like Palm Trees are going to have to be forced to fall back and take a trade right there. Special. Ooh, Tsunami has special advantage at the moment, so they are trying to make something out of it. The Ray does come out. The Booyah Bomb can come out at any moment. NASA does get a pick. They have an opening here if they want to make something out of it, but they've got to get Otter up in that spawn. The Junior in the spawn gets a pick. Almost gets a second right there. Pops armor. This is going to be it. This is what Tsunami needs to use if they're going to make something out of this push.
Unfortunately there, though, the other members of Tsunami did go down in the process. So while Lucas was making those pretty nice plays, they're not able to capitalize off of them as the rest of them go down. Palm Trees here going to go ahead, let the Rainmaker reset again. They know that they really don't need to be aggressive about picking this up and trying to work with it because that is Tsunami's job at the moment. 30 seconds left. Tsunami really going to have to do an excellent job of getting picks and paint control here if they want to keep going forward.
Well, what they're doing so well right now that Tsunami isn't is Tsunami is getting desperate right here, and they're showing it. They're feeding hard. That's what they're doing. They're normally an aggressive team, and it's just causing them to feed. Lucas right here is going to try to come in for some heroics. They really just have to do what they can to charge the backline, but it's not going to happen. The counter ray is going to come out and deny Nanon's death, and that is going to be the game. So they take the set 2-1 and tie things overall in this matchup.
Yeah, so set count is now 1-1. We'll see here what Tsunami decides to go to counterpicking for this next set. And it looks like that was actually really fast. They must have already talked about it. They are going to be going to Clan Blitz here for this final set between these two teams. So We'll see if that plays in their favor. The maps for Clam Blitz in this set are going to be the Reef, Blackbelly Skate Park, and Starfish Main Stage.
Yeah, you know, I'm really not surprised that of all the modes that they could have chosen, Tsunami went with Clam Blitz. This is going to be a really tough mode for Palm Trees to defend against just how disruptive Tsunami is. Otter is going to get up behind them. Lucas is going to get up behind them. You know, what you really need to do if you're Palm Trees right now is just wait for Otter, punish them, understand that they might get some points on the board with a jump and just really punish that push, because you can put together a stronger one in response. You know, play the patient game and really punish any sort of over-aggression that Otter and Lucas are going to bring. But Lucas and Otter know themselves that if they played their cards right, they are so disruptive that if they aren't ignored, they can really make things happen for their team. You know, just constantly create those openings.
Yeah, so we'll see here what is coming up between these two teams. Looks like they're already talking it over as far as their compositions are concerned. We'll see what each brings to the table coming up. You know, we really haven't seen a ton of variation overall, so I imagine we're still probably going to see that junior come out from Tsunami, but do you think that we're going to still see Stingrays?
I know, I'm not sure we'll see Stingrays, but we will see backliners in general. It's going to be very crucial for their backline to hold the bridge on this map. You know, they're going to be under fire from a lot of flank here, from left and right side of street. They're going to be shot at from underneath bridge, from the other side of bridge. They're going to be dealing with a lot of angles of pressure. Actually, you're seeing no backline come out from Tsunami. So what they're really focusing on doing here is working as many angles of pressure as they can and just abusing the backline on the side of Palm Tree.
Yes. So we'll see if this composition plays in Tsunami's favor. Synapse is going to try to sneak around, try to maybe get an early pick, but unfortunately can't quite do that at this current moment. Tsunami going to go up to an early Clams advantage here overall, and that is going to be a wipe now on the side of Palm Trees. So this will at least allow Tsunami to get some points on the board here as Wolfie tries to get a couple more clams.
You know, that's exactly what I was saying earlier. It just happened as well. They're tossing clams up to the ball, so if Otter gets this pick, they can get more in. Wolfie there with another pick. Almost gets a second right there. They still put points on the board all the way down to 39. You know, what they really did was they worked so many angles of pressure, they just stormed over that bridge. Shiny couldn't get the picks on them as they did, and Shiny went down from 3 angles of pressure all at once. There was no way for them to survive. In the backline, the moment the backline went down, that was when Tsunami just had that massive push to open up the game.
Yeah, so what we're seeing here, Synapse has, Palm Trees now has 2 specials online. Of course, Synapse has one of them in that Inkstorm. It's going to go ahead and fire it away. They do have a Power Clam. Of course, Shiny does go down carrying that Power Clam for Palm Trees. But we'll see here what both of these teams can do. That effective 3-down situation, a really delayed wipe. Delayed wipe coming out for Palm Trees, and Tsunami going to have another opportunity here to push forward. Wolfie going to try to go around back and wait for this Power Clam to go in. But like you said, applying those angles of pressure.
Wolfie is going to come in with a ball that's going to stop them from being able to defend up there. He's going to be just disruptive just enough for them to really put some more clams on. But unfortunately for Tsunami, they aren't able to make anything more of it. No, they get it down to 25. Their push is not dead. Otter jumps out, so they do not disrupt their flow of respawns. Lucas trying to make things happen. Just put a little more in, just maybe sneak in, but unfortunately for him, he's going to overextend and possibly for him die. The armor for self-defense right there.
Yeah, I think Tsunami overall there just kind of playing a little more of a patient game. We saw the Slosher player there jump out with the baller active. I think if they wanted to play a little more aggressive, they could have gone ahead, popped the baller, waited for a couple people to jump in, and throw maybe a couple more clams in, but instead they're just going to opt for the safe play, not have anyone die there, so that they can defend this push from Palm Trees. But Palm Trees is going to go ahead and have 2 footballs at the ready and throw both in to get a push going on their end.
Absolutely. You know, what you're really seeing is Tsunami is a very offensive team. So what they're really doing here is they're trying to throw bodies at objective as fast as they can. They are a faster team, and you know, oftentimes in Clambets, what you really see is the faster team wins. You see a lot of backlines not played in Clamblets just because they're too slow for the mode.
Yeah, so Tsunami here does have 2 footballs at the ready, might go for the knockout here, but they're not really in a situation where they're forced to do so. 2-down situation, though, for Tsunami might open the door up here for Palm Trees to get something done, but of course Tsunami going to go ahead and throw in that football on the other end.
Absolutely, and the baller coming out, forcing Nanan off the bridge, so keeping the bridge alive for their team. That's going to be very crucial here for the team to push back in and keep the pressure on. Clam advantage, however, on the side of Palm Trees. If they get one big push going right now, then the game is going to shift and become very, very lopsided. You know, Tsunami really just hasn't been able to put together the strong push that they did at the very beginning of this match.
So it looks like the members of Palm Trees are getting ready to go for this push. This Stingray is going to try to get a pick. Will go ahead and get 2 picks there. So that might open up the door a little bit here. Shiny going to get a 3rd. That'll allow for these 2 footballs at the very least to get thrown in. Oh, no. But one of them misses. The other one gets taken out. Unfortunately, not going to be the best situation there for Palm Trees as Tsunami putting up a strong defense.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, once again, Palm Trees was just a little bit too slow. Their team is a slower team than Tsunami, and it played out. They couldn't quite get to Bastet fast enough to really capitalize on the picks and the openings that they just took. Tsunami running so much quick respawn. They're getting back in the game quickly. They're doing everything they can to put on as many angles of pressure as they can. You know, they don't care if they die as long as they make sure that those large openings aren't taken on their team.
Yes, so Tsunami here going to continue. Actually, they're just going to go ahead and throw in this last football in order to hopefully close out the game. That will be game after they get in 1 after overtime begins. So Tsunami going to go up 1-0 in this final set. Of course, both of these teams need to win 2 games in order to punch Tsunami now only needs to win 1 more to punch their ticket to grand finals.
Absolutely. Though, you know, if you were Palm Trees, you know, you tied up this matchup. You're in here for a reason. In that game, you know, there were times where it was actually very close. You know, you can win this.
Definitely. We saw there, you know, that one push from Palm Trees where they had both of those footballs at the ready. But unfortunately, strong defense there coming out from Tsunami. Couldn't quite get those footballs in fast enough, fully take advantage of the man advantage that they had at that given point in time. So Tsunami will go ahead and take that game. But up next, we're going to be seeing Blackbelly's Skate Park Clam. So what do you expect to see here?
Well, I see a lot of fast pushes once again. Blackbelly is a very fast map, you know, more so in Rainmaker than the other modes, but it is still a fast map in general. You see the varying levels of elevation may make a Stingray very ineffective unless they just happen to be able to ray down that pipe area on either side of the map an awful lot. Otherwise, the mode's going to be a little bit too fast for those rays to be effective. I'm not sure we're going to see a ray come out again from the side of Palm Trees, but you know, I've been wrong about that a couple times now, haven't I?
Yeah, we do see those rays consistently come out from Palm Trees. And in a lot of situations, you know, they're actually doing a really good job of forcing the members of Tsunami around where possible. But, you know, in that last game just wasn't quite enough. So we'll see here what both of these teams have to offer on Blackbelly Skate Park as we're going to hop right in this game here pretty soon. Absolutely.
You know, their key right here, Palm Trees has to be patient. They know that they're not as fast as Tsunami. They just have to wait for those overextensions. Don't be overzealous here. You have to wait and understand that Otter and Lucas are going to try to make things happen at all costs, and they're going to overextend. You see an Explosion actually coming out. This is a fairly good Explosion.
Yeah, indeed. So we'll see if that plays to Palm Trees' benefit here. They're really looking for something to change. They need 2 more games in order to clinch this out over Tsunami, whereas Tsunami only needs 1 to punch their ticket to grand finals. We'll see here who comes out on top, as both of these teams have a pretty neutral claim advantage at the moment.
Yeah, you know what he really did there on top mid right there was actually wait for that overextension and punished it. They have to keep doing that all match. Afterwards, they just pushed up and got a little overzealous and tried to take a 2v1 and make things happen. Unfortunately, that's not the best idea to do, but their team does have map advantage still. As you can see, the right side of the map is a little bit lopsided, so they can make things happen with the varying degrees of angle right here. Synapse is actually completely unseen. Nice kill by Synapse right there to create an opening. This push may be enough.
Synapse there probably wishes he just had like 2 more clams, just had the right amount, and could have thrown that football in, but unfortunately that push is going to fall apart, not fully being aware of that football situation. Shiny gonna have to be forced to jump back to spawn. You hate to see that with 8 clams at the ready. So unfortunately, an attempted push there shut down for Palm Trees, and we'll see what Tsunami does to retaliate.
Absolutely, just a little bit mistimed on creating that opening. You know, the coordination just wasn't quite there. Wolfie trying to toss the clams to Lucas, so Wolfie right here is likely going to get aggressive, just waiting and biding their time, waiting for those overextensions. Unfortunately for Wolfie right now, there is nobody near them. Otter, on the other hand, is on the other side of the map, is going to die in an overextension. Very, very bad decision right there by Otter.
Yeah, Tsunami, I think, still trying to decide fully what to do while the members of Palm Trees are pushing forward. You know, Lucas trying to do their best to protect that football, but, you know, both of these teams have super clams and clams at the ready. It looks like, actually, interesting trades all around. Still a very neutral situation for both these teams. I imagine both are going to try to go for the opposing barrier here soon, especially as soon as they get a couple of picks. So we'll see what happens.
Absolutely. Though, you know, taking out the backliner, if you die while taking out the backliner there, you died while taking out the backliner. Getting the backliner in that situation was very important for Otter to get. Unfortunately for them, they do go down, and it doesn't stop their team from being able to at least put some sort of push together, however. Otter is going to come in, try to get one more clam in, and unfortunately does go down in trying to do so, but not before they get 2 more in. Palm Trees putting up very strong defense on that push, and really just trying to take back their pipe right here.
Yeah, but Tsunami finally getting on the board there about the halfway point of this game. 3 footballs, though, at the ready for Palm Trees. We've seen them try to make pushes before, but let's see if they can properly coordinate and do what they need to do here. Looks like Synapse and Nanine are going to go ahead up this side, trying to get a couple of picks. Synapse still staying alive in this corner. We'll see here. Inkara popped for Tsunami. Synapse is going to go ahead and go down, but all 3 of those footballs still at the ready for Palm Trees.
Yeah, unfortunately for Synapse, what you want to do there is either just make sure that you are not seen, because you can't walk into a 3v1 like that, or you just make sure you jump out. Getting a little bit impatient right there, that's going to get them killed. Shiny is going to get a nice pick right there. Shiny with the clam. It looks like the pipe is open for them to make a push. Palm Trees has an alleyway to go right down.
Yeah, but it looks like they're not quite wanting to pop bubbles especially yet. I'd like to see those bubbles from Shiny come out, but here comes that. We are going to get a jump in. That is going to be the lead now for Palm Trees after those 3 footballs go in. So impressive show all around, you know, opting for more of a quick burst sort of a play to get down to 34, and now Tsunami is going to have to make a response here with just under a minute left.
Absolutely. You know, it looks like Tsunami, they are overextending, and finally it looks like Palm Trees is realizing that and playing a lot more patiently overall and just punishing it as much as they can. You see a lot more sharking from Palm Trees right now. Tsunami is in return sharking a lot more themselves.
Bubbles coming out from Palm Trees to try to defend this push as much as possible, but a couple of members of Tsunami are going to try to push forward here. Still can't quite get that football in. Palm Trees, they're putting on an impressive defense, forcing the members of Tsunami, especially right when they approach that football, and that's going to be all the members of Tsunami down almost. Otter is going to go ahead and pop this, but I don't think they have enough clams to fully support the rest of this push. Nat's going to try to come in and is going to go down, unfortunately. I think that is game there, so Palm Trees going to go ahead and take this game and tie this final set.
You know, I have to admit, 1 game, and that's it. 1 game, and you win your way to Grand Finals. You know, this is the set that we were waiting for. Tsunami and Palm Trees have had a history, and Palm Trees is the only team that historically has had a record where they have beaten Tsunami in the past. They are playing a lot more patient right now, with the exception right now of maybe one or two of their players. Overall, as a team, they're waiting on those overextensions from Tsunami, and they're making things happen.
Yeah, close match overall here. Looks like we're having a couple of lobby difficulties, so we'll get this right back up here pretty soon. But so we'll see what's going on with that. But it all comes down to one final game between these two teams.
You know, if this is a preview of Grands, like Acid Sunshine is saying in chat right now, if this is a preview of Grands, then frankly, this is the Grands that we are going to be extremely excited to see. This is going to be amazing. Once again, Clam Blitz on Starfish. You know, this actually might play out in the favor of Tsunami. They are a faster team, like you said. Maybe they want to slow things down, stop trying to make things happen a little too much, stop overextending, and just really just understand, look, they have a better, more aggressive team. Just don't go too far away from your team. Don't try to get behind Palm Trees. You don't need to do too much to make things happen. That's what Tsunami is really going to have to do in this next match. Just try not to do too much.
Yeah, so we'll see here heading into Starfish main stage, being the last game of the set. You know, so just to recap, so far to get to this point, we had Tsunami go ahead and win the Splatoon set 2-0. We had Palm Trees win the Clam 2-1, and now one of these two teams will win. Or sorry, that was the Rainmaker set 2-1 that Palm Trees won, and now we're going to be seeing Clam Blitz, you know, for this last set on Starfish main stage for each of these teams to go ahead into grand finals. Of course, the loser isn't out quite yet, as this is double elimination. They'll be forced to go up against the winner of Southern Lights versus Moist Bread. So we'll see here what happens as we have the members of each team getting in the lobby. We're almost there, everyone.
Absolutely, we are almost there. One game to go, and the team that wins this goes to grand finals, and it's going to be absolutely amazing. The loser not having too much of a road to fight through in losers. However, not having the safety of knowing that it's a double elimination, because the double elimination is staring them down in the face. You know what? Palm Trees really did well in that last match. They shut down Otter. They shut down Lucas. They understood that Otter and Lucas were going to feed, and they waited in pairs and waited in groups and waited to just make sure that Otter and Lucas did not do anything. And they put down so much paint, changing to that Explosion from Charger. They put down so much paint that the overextensions from Tsunami were far more pronounced. And Tsunami really, just throughout that match, they couldn't really change the tide of just how much paint Palm Trees was putting down. Palm Trees really playing patiently and doing a phenomenal job of it. If they're going to win this next match, they're going to have to do that again. And if Tsunami is going to win this next match, they have to play a little bit more patiently. Look, they can make things happen, but they're not timing their engagements right. They're even when sharking, they're not timing their engagements right. They're trying to make things happen a little bit too early, and you know, stuff like that. That's really punishing them. Tsunami has to make things happen, but you have all match to make things happen. You don't have to rush anything.
Yeah, so here we are getting into this Game 8, final game to decide the set between these two teams. Looks like, is that triple dualies coming out from, that is indeed triple dualies coming out from Palm Trees.
Absolutely. They've been running triple dualies all day. They've been running double dualies early, triple dualies now. They have the Explosion. They have a lot of shooters. They have a pretty decent amount of paint, and that is exactly what they're doing. Oh, one is going to go down on Tsunami early. That's going to be Otter, so he's going to be punished for his feeding, and that's going to be a very bad situation. But Ghost on the flank is going to be taken down by Otter. Otter's going to be right back in this real quick.
Yeah, so neutral situation as both sides exchange members, but Palm Tree is going to go ahead, build up their first football, and is going to go ahead and try to look for an opening here. We'll see what they can do in this mid.
Otto trying to shoot his teammate because his teammate was so orange he thought he was an opponent.
Here we are now, 2 specials online for Tsunami. Wolfie has a power clam ready, but neither team really fully looking to push forward. Here comes a baller though coming out for Tsunami, maybe?
Unfortunately, they're going to go down, but they're going to get a ball in basket, so that's going to be an early push for Tsunami. Maybe a little too little. They timed it maybe just a little bit too early because they're not able to capitalize on it. They don't get any more clams in. Wolfie is going to go down instead of jumping out, trying to make something happen in that court over there. Ghost is going to be able to push up. That left flank, however, was what Tsunami used to really open things up for that push.
Yeah, Palm Trees here now does have a pretty significant clam advantage. Ghost just going to try to sneak around, try to pick up a couple clams. Doesn't want to give away his location at the moment with a football. He is going to wait for that ink armor, though, pick up an extra clam and try to make a run for it, but isn't quite going to be able to do so as he does get picked out by 2 of those members of Tsunami. That's going to be a 3-on situation for Tsunami, though. This should allow a situation for Palm Trees to push forward, and they will, but not after going down there to NASA. NASA just going to completely shut down that push for Palm Trees.
Absolutely. Otter was still alive, and NASA just came back. They were just in time, just enough to stop the push in its tracks. You know, once again, being a little bit impatient right there. You could have been able to do something right there. Nice job right there. No. For the future, but they formed that clam and they tried to rush it. Unfortunately, that's not a team play, and it does upset.
Yeah, it looks like, I think if I had to say one thing overall, you know, when I compare these 2 teams to what we've seen in other places, I think some of that special coordination and full team coordination is a little bit lacking. Here comes a baller, though, coming in for Tsunami from Wolfie, looking for the couple of jumps, but it doesn't quite look like they're going to be able to get those jumps off. Maybe they just weren't in a good situation to get those jumps in. Don't know quite what the deal was, but Tsunami going to hold on to their power clans, and Palm Trees is still looking for an opening.
Yeah, and it looks like Synapse is going to take that flank on left once again, just making sure, at least by being there, if they don't make anything happen, at least making sure that Tsunami doesn't use that left side to really make something happen again. This is a close match, however. Ghost is going to try to come in with another kill. Does get that splat right there. They have 2 down on their team, however, but they're going to push forward and try to make something happen out of this.
Yeah, looks like the members of Palm Trees here not quite in the best situation, but they still need to get a push going. They have just over a minute left to answer for that initial first power clam from Tsunami. We'll see here what they can do, but neither one of these teams really taking full control of the middle of the map ever.
Oh, Synapse with an absolutely monumentally important first splat right there. He is going to go down, however, so it's not going to create the opening that the team needed for a push. So Tsunami actually has the upper hand right here. You know, if they wait on specials, they can push on a bomb. The bubbles right there coming in very, very early. You don't have to engage those bubbles if you don't want to, if you're on the side of Tsunami. Just play it out, wait for them to disappear. You can charge your specials in the meantime and make sure that you actually special in for a push. No, it looks like Synapse is going to come down and get a triple. That's going to create a massive opening. The team can jump in. This is going to be their push. They are likely going to take the lead here. This might be it with 20 seconds left to go. They need 1 clam in, and that's it. They're not going to be able to get the second power clam in, and they do get 1 more in, so that is going to be lead for Palm Trees with 10 seconds left to go on the map. Tsunami has to be quick. They have to get to the opposing basket. They have to make something happen. They don't have a whole lot of overtime to work with. NASA pushing up and overextending. He's gonna run. She's gonna run into a 2v1. They're gonna die. The baller coming out, but coming out early. They're not going to be able, they get to basket, this is going to be it. They're going to be able to take this back, and they do, they take the lead, and Tsunami takes this set 2-1 overall against Palm Trees.
A really close final game there coming out from both of these 2 teams, and you know, the second we saw the rest of the members of Palm Trees get wiped up after they're pushed, after getting that one extra clamp that they needed. NASA went ahead and just started pushing forward, started painting the map because she knew what was going forward.